Allow me to adopt the protocols. When the Vice Chancellor spoke this morning, he laid them out. And I thank him for welcoming us back to our roots. The Vice President and I have the privilege to have come through the halls of this institution. And so as proud alumni, we thank him for offering the Citizens' Assembly a place that we can come and have a good discourse and chart the way forward as a nation, as a people. So it's my honor to be part of this event and this conversation, reflecting on the gathering of patriotic Kenyans. I feel a deep sense of pride and hope for Kenya and the youth of this country. But I'm also overwhelmed by the abuse of human rights, infringement of the rule of law, and destruction of property that we have witnessed in our motherland as a result of the ongoing protests that have are secured under Article 37 of the Constitution. The Law Society of Kenya is here today because of its mandate to protect and advance the rule of law and advocate for justice. Besides, the Law Society is part of this event because of over 60% of advocates are aged below 35 years. Once again, I salute all the advocates and students of law for standing up for human rights, justice, and for Kenya. It is heartbreaking that Kenyans are still being abducted to silence their voices, and we cannot allow that to continue. I'm sure that we all appreciate the living that this kind of context that we are living in today, where the power of citizens in governance is more apparent than ever. The emergence of digital tools and spaces have revolutionized how we, as citizens, can engage with our elected leaders and each other. These tools have given birth to new avenues for nurturing conversations, cross-pollination of ideas, and mobilizing Kenyans for change. In the recent weeks, we have witnessed the remarkable impact of this digital revolution. The Gen Zs of our nation, led by an unprecedented push against the Finance Bill of 2024, a bill that many felt personally was going to weigh down heavily on them and was more exploitative and out of touch of the realities that they were living in today. And it was not just for the finance bill. It has morphed into a big agenda. It was a call and a cry for a country that works for us and not for a select few. Through digital activism, I strongly feel the youth have helped us reclaim our sovereignty, renew our commitment to our national flag, and galvanize our collective ambitions as Kenyans. I believe the political class now knows that the citizens are woke. We are vigilant and ready to demand accountability, transparency, and good governance. Digital spaces have truly become the new frontier of governance and opposition, a space where every voice can be heard and every concern addressed without fear or favor. Today, we must stand proud of what and who we are as a people and what has been achieved through digital activism. It has shown us that we can make our voices matter, and together we can drive the country into the direction that we want. Indeed, digital spaces are the fertile grounds in which we are able to impact, and we have witnessed the same. And a promising future lies ahead. And therefore, allow me to commend all of you with a special salute to the youth of this country. Your engagement, your passion, your commitment to a better Kenya are what has made this Citizen Assembly worth the while. I thank all of you. Yesterday, I found myself in a conversation where a number of millennials and Gen Zs were wondering why digital platforms are effective in bringing change and transformation in Kenya. and this is what I shared. Firstly, digital media is free and uncontrolled. Unlike traditional platforms like radio, television, and newspapers, this lack of government control makes it an ideal space for activism. There are no gatekeepers to filter or censor. This means citizens can speak their minds freely, share their thoughts and ideas without fear of repression. This freedom is the substrum of effective activism. Secondly, in the digital world, everyone is a source of information and news. Each one of us has the power to share our stories, report events, and bring attention to issues that matter. This democratization of information means that important stories are less likely to be ignored or buried. Every tweet, every post, every blog can spark a movement, making each one of us a potential catalyst for change. Thirdly, digital media allows us to reach the masses instantly. In the blink of an eye, a message can go viral, spreading across the country and beyond our borders. This is crucial for mobilizing support, organizing peaceful protests, and creating a sense of urgency around pressing issues. Moreover, digital platforms provide a unique space where Kenyans can express themselves in their own way. Whether through words, images, videos, or memes, you have the freedom to communicate in ways that resonate with all of you. This diversity of expression enriches our activism and makes it more engaging and impactful. In the same meeting, I had someone say that to a large extent, people live online. I remember a meme that I saw once that in today's world, you'll sit in a table and everyone is bowed down looking at their phones. And I bet some of us are on our phones. It's said that more connections are now happening online first before we meet physically. Is it true? This makes digital activism the most potential tool for engagement and generating important conversations. By meeting people where they are, digital platforms ensure that messages are seen and heard by those who matter most, either organically or through tagging. Finally, digital media is now a major source of entertainment. This dual role as a hub for both information and entertainment makes it a powerful platform for driving conversations. But let us now reflect on what digital activism has achieved for Kenya so that we utilize it effectively. The recent Gen Z-led protests have demonstrated the irrefutable power of digital activism. Through coordinated online efforts, we saw how digital platforms played a central role in locating many of the abducted protesters. The pressure mounted by relentless social media campaigns forced the abductors to release some of those captives. The matter of issue now is that this act of solidarity and persistent online clamor not only saved lives, but also highlighted the effectiveness of digital activism in addressing urgent human rights issues. Digital activism was instrumental to the cry to the government to drop the contentious Financial Bill 2024, which initially triggered the protests. This victory was a clear indication that when citizens unite online, their collective voice can influence policy decisions at the highest level. It showed that digital activism can achieve more than raising awareness. It can achieve tangible outcomes. In an unprecedented move, digital activism persuaded the president to engage directly with citizens on Twitter Space. This trailblazing event marked the first time a sitting head of state in Africa participated in a live question and answer session with their citizens. It underscored the power of digital platforms in bridging the gap between leaders and the people that they serve, ushering a new era of transparency and direct communication. Should this be a new platform to engage with your leaders? Should it? The ripple effects of Kenyan digital activism are already being felt across the continent. The impact is evident as youth in other African countries are inspired by the success of the Kenyan youth and are now using digital platforms to advocate for change in their own nations. Can we call it Digital Africa Rising? A shift is happening in the continent towards greater civic engagement and accountability. Public participation in governance will never be the same. Digital activism has revolutionized the way Kenyans engage in national discourse. It has provided us with a forum to voice our opinions, give feedback, and hold our leaders accountable. The new forum of public participation will ensure that every citizen, regardless of their physical location, can have a say in how they're governed. How do we as a country move forward, particularly with the question of digital activism? I think this is what we need to take home, at least, if not for anything, from this event. As we look to the future, it is clear that digital activism has proven its effectiveness in advocating for change and accountability. This new form of engagement is a powerful tool for peaceful protest. It does provide the citizenry with an effective means to express demands and aspirations. I believe we must embrace more digital activism as a necessity, for it ensures our voices are heard, our concerns are addressed, while minimizing loss of life and property. Given the successes that I've raised and talked about, we must adopt digital activism as a form or method of public participation. This will guarantee that Kenyans have a direct say to the management and future of our country by integrating digital platforms into our civic processes. We can drive a more inclusive and participatory democracy where every Kenyan, regardless of their age, gender, religion, or location, can contribute to the national decision-making process. Furthermore, digital activism should be a tool for promoting peace and unity. In a country often divided by physical barriers and social barriers, tribe and religion, digital spaces offer a unique opportunity to connect, collaborate, and build bridges among communities. By engaging with other users online as a tribeless citizens, we promote understanding, togetherness, and stimulate collective action towards common goals as Kenyans. In conclusion, I envision Kenya where every citizen actively participates in the decisions and management of our country, a nation where the rule of law is respected, justice prevails, and equity triumphs and accountability reigns. A country that works for every Kenyan and not just a few well-connected individuals. I'm strongly persuaded that digital activism can help us to march towards that dream. I encourage all Kenyans of goodwill to leverage these digital tools to make their voices heard, challenge injustices, and contribute to the betterment of our beloved motherland. To the young people of Kenya, I urge you to remain steadfast in your quest for a better Kenya. Your energy, creativity, and passion are driving forces behind this movement, and your continued engagement is vital for success. To our national government and county governments, I call on you to recognize the value of digital platforms as a tool for public engagement. Embrace these technologies to connect with citizens, gather feedback, and ensure that the governance is truly by the people and for the people. The Citizens' Assembly will advocate for a national digital platform for public participation, and I hope the President of the nation will embrace this to get feedback directly from his people and feedback on services that are offered. As the Law Society of Kenya, we will also continue to engage on justice for victims, improvement of some of the bare minimums that were raised through the Gen Z movement, on the changes in the healthcare and education system, better governance and accountability, that we are open to, and we are open to bridging this conversation on what is next and how do we build our nation together. And finally, to all of us, I have a direct message. Engage with purpose, act with integrity, and use your voice responsibly. Drive positive change through digital activism. God bless you all, and God bless our country, Kenya.